Time for another edition of the Coach Dave Jacobs Show as we bring in Coach Jacobs after the regular season finale. Not what you wanted going to Mattoon, but regular season's over. Now the playoffs start.
Yeah, there's a lot of people turning in their equipment this week, and we're not one of them. So, the third season starts today, and we're excited about the opportunity.
We're going to try to keep the format similar to what we've done all season long. We'll talk about the game that just wrapped up over the weekend, and then we'll preview what will be a playoff game versus a team called Limestone out of Bartonville, Illinois. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But first, let's talk about the trip over to Mattoon. There was a big crowd waiting for the Mattoon Green Wave to take on the Jersey Panthers, and the two teams moving up and down the field in that first quarter scored 2 touchdowns each, and we were tied at 14 after one quarter of play, and the offenses were on.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it last week. Their team is very similar to ours. They've got a good offense, and it was an exciting football game, and I want to give them credit. Their quarterback played one of the best games I've seen a kid play, and he put the ball in the right place, and their receivers, they just made plays. They had their best game of the season, and we were kind of limping in there, and they caught us at a good time. But I don't go to the other team very often after a game, but I made sure I went and shook that quarterback's hand because he really, really did a nice job.
He had good numbers coming in. He had, 23 touchdown passes and had thrown for more yards than Billy Ritchie had going into the game, I think over 1,900, and he put up over 500 yards of passing offense alone in that game, and he really seemed to find one of his particular targets, number 23, Cattell, in that first quarter, kind of picking on Isaac Rawling.
Yeah, and, I did have a decent job of covering the guy, but again, on those deep balls, their quarterback kind of put it on the back shoulder, and their kid would step back and get it, and that Cattell was a really good player, and they like that matchup, and again, if Kyle's healthy, he's out there playing, and we didn't have AJ Staples, to put pressure on him, and it was just one of them deals where they caught us at the right time, and really they played really well.
And when you had good coverage or the quarterback didn't have anybody to throw to, he used his legs and picked up some first downs, very similar to what Kyle Kirkpatrick of Civic Memorial did the week prior.
Yeah, but this kid was a lot better. He was pretty savvy back there. He knew when to get out of bounds, and we had a hard time with him, and we did a great job on defense shutting down the running game, and then they went to that 5 wide, and they had some matchups they liked, and even when we had him covered, like you said, their quarterback was able to get loose and get up the field and get out of bounds. And, we've got to get off the field on third down. And when you got a running quarterback like that, they can spread you out and then go get the first down. It's, it's frustrating. But again, kudos to their guys.
I don't know how many times that occurred. When it was third and long, in down and distance that favors the defense, that quarterback was able to get the first down, keep drives alive, and give their team more confidence as the game went on.
Yeah, and there's times, where we flushed him out and we had him, and he would sprint out away. He made one throw, almost sidearm, and hit a kid, on a rope, on a little comeback route. And just, stuff like that. It was just their night.
I think they described it up in the press box as underhanded it. I thought it was more of a sidearm throw. And you got to credit their receivers. That was the best receiving core that I've seen other than the Panthers, of just going up and grabbing the ball over defenders, much like the Panthers have done all year long. That's what the Green Wave was doing the other night.
Yeah, and like I said, I do want to give them credit. They played outstanding, all of their kids, and that's a good matchup for us, and we've got them on contract for the next, I think, 2 or 3 years. So, that's going to be a good one to finish with every year.
Let's talk about the good things that happened for the Panthers on Friday night. Moving the ball, did well in the first half. Like we said, scored 14 first quarter points. Second quarter wasn't quite the fireworks that the first quarter was, but the Panthers put a closing drive together and really took a lot of momentum away with a drive that scored with all zeros on the clock. And you were out of timeouts, so This was something that the kids had to do, more or less, I don't know, all on their own. You did call a timeout with about 30 seconds left, but when they didn't get the first down with about 14 seconds left, kind of go through what you have to do in that sequence and what Billy and the rest of the offense has to do.
Well, we were signaling the play in, and the kids were a little confused, and they ended up running the wrong play, and Billy ended up scrambling and was able to get the ball up to Crick. I mean, I called a little, really a little speed out to Crick, and Billy thought it was something else, and I mean, it was, but it was Billy making a play. He got out of trouble and was able to find Crick, and Crick made a great catch on that. I mean, he did, and that happened to us a couple times. The one touchdown that we had, it was a running play, and Billy stepped back and went and turned the corner, and our lineman, Christian Klein on that play, he was downfield and ended up coming back to block for Billy, so we didn't have a lineman downfield, and he ended up tossing it, in the corner there for a touchdown. So there was a couple scores we got that our kids were just making plays.
The play prior to the touchdown that did not get a first down, the first down would have stopped the clock. You could have got inside, I think, the 2 and stopped the clock. Was that play designed to get a first down or a touchdown?
It was supposed to get a touchdown, but like you're saying, I mean, it could have got the first down as well. It just we just didn't hit it.
Okay, so and I asked my son, did Coach call 2 plays in the huddle so that you had 2 plays to run, and that was not the case. You actually had a play signaled in for that final play of the quarter.
Right, I thought we had the right play called before, and we didn't get it. So, I mean, the kids were kind of scrambling, and we didn't have time to do a field goal there to get our field goal team out there, and so we went ahead and just ran the play, and were able to get it.
We're talking about 16, 17, 18-year-old kids realizing that they have a clock ticking down under 10 seconds, and they execute and get a play. You can watch NFL 35-year-old veteran quarterbacks not get that done on Sunday.
Yeah, and, you mentioned that they had, their quarterback threw for 500 yards. Well, Billy threw for 353, and we ran for almost 120. So, we had close to 470 yards of offense. So, our kids did some good things too.
Very good things, and some new records set. We'll keep that on the back burner until we wrap up the season and talk about some of the accolades for some of the individual players. But talk about the players playing hurt. At the end of the game, you had Nathan Scott in there playing a wide receiver, I think for the first time this year, got his first career catch as a wide receiver. Both, you had 3 guys who were really slowed up with nagging injuries.
Yeah, and we were limping in. I mean, I'm not going to make excuses. Mattoon, they played well, but when Terman's hurt, and he's got a really bad thumb, and it's hard to tackle and catch a ball. And then Kyle Obertino's ankle, and Jake, I think his whole body's hurting. But we got tough kids that that kind of limped through it. But if you got those guys fresh, and I think it's a different outcome. But it does limit your play calling, when they're kind of limping around. So Nathan Scott came in, and Nathan's been waiting for his opportunity, and he got it. And he's somebody that I think that can really help give us some depth and a spark here as we go into the playoffs.
And not to get too negative on the game that the Panthers are playoff bound, but I just wanted to point out Nathan Scott was called on to kick extra point late in the game after Austin Isringhausen had a rough night.
Yeah, and this kind of happened at this point last year. He got in kind of a funk at the end of the season, and what's good about now is he can come to practice every night. When it's not good that our soccer team lost, but it's good that we can get Izzy at practice and he can work. And I mean, it's tough when the only thing you do is kick and it's cold and but that's his job. So he's he'll get better at it this week. And we do have Nathan on deck that is going to be our kicker next year. But if we're going to let him battle it out this week, and whoever does the best, we'll get the call on Saturday.
Yeah, the elements were not right for a kicker out there. And then when that first field goal, and I saw that it was going to be on that far hash mark, and just lining up things like, it's not like the NFL where you've got the narrow hash marks. It's wider in high school and college, and just makes for an odd angle sometimes. And after he missed that one, it just kind of seemed to throw him off the rest of the night.
Yeah, and like I said, he went through a little bit of a funk last year, but then he came back strong, and I know that he will this time as well.
We're going to take a break here in the Coach Dave Jacobs Show, and we're going to talk about the opponent in Week 1 of the IHSA 5A playoffs as the Jersey Panthers travel to a town called Bartonsville. It's located between Pekin, or right near Pekin and Peoria, and they take on a team called the Limestone Rockets. We'll find out what the coach knows about this team when we come back after our break.
Sinclair Foods is now making its one-of-a-kind Panther Burger available to everyone just in time for the fall sports season, and they are sure you're going to love them. But don't stop there. From their quality meats, fresh bakery, delicious deli with Champ's Chicken, you can't go wrong by stopping at Sinclair's. Sinclair Foods, large enough to serve you, small enough to know you.
Welcome back to the Coach Dave Jacobs Show, brought to you by Sinclair Foods. Saturday afternoon, the IHSA determined the field for this year's playoffs, and the Jersey Panthers found themselves in 5A, not 4A. Was that a surprise, or was it something you could expected going into the weekend, or how did you react to knowing you're going to be in the 5A playoffs?
Well, we were on the bubble. We kind of knew that. We really were hoping we were going to get in 4A. You want to be a large school in your class, not a small one. And it turns out we're one of the smallest 5As that made it. But hey, we're, like I said, at the beginning, we're happy to be in. I mean, there's a lot of teams handing in equipment today, and we're getting ready to play Week 10, and we think we have a good shot.
The team that you're playing is the Limestone Rockets. They come out of a conference known as the Mid-Illini. They send 3 teams to the playoff. The champion in that conference was Washington, a team that went 9-0. The runner-up in the conference was Limestone, and the third-place team, Pekin. Pekin is the only team with a winning record that Limestone beat. They are in the playoffs for the first time since 2004, I believe, and they're coming off a 2-7 year. So this is something new for them, and they'll probably be wound up wanting to host this playoff game Saturday afternoon.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, they're excited, and in fact, they wanted to play on Friday, and I love Friday nights, but we need the extra day to get some guys healthy, and there's going to be a special feeling getting on that charter bus on a Saturday morning and traveling a couple hours to go play a football game, and that's what it's all about.
And if they've got their town decorated, kind of fuels the competitive juices even more.
Oh yeah, and we're excited. I mean, looking at them on tape, and their conference is, all the teams are very similar, and I think they're similar to a Triad Waterloo kind of team that wants to run the football, and I think we have a really good game plan, and it's going to be an exciting game.
Talking about Triad and Waterloo, you've got victories over both of those teams. This team is very similar. Talk about what they like to do. I don't know a lot about the individual players, haven't seen any individual stats on these guys, but is their quarterback returning? Is he a new guy? Are they a team that will not run the ball at all, or will not throw the ball at all? What are they going to line up and do?
Well, they're a big physical team. I mean, their roster doesn't have height and weight, which is a little discouraging, but so we really can't tell how big they are, but their fullback is their best player, in my opinion. He's very athletic. He's thick. He runs hard. Their quarterback is probably their second best player. He runs well, and he's very capable of throwing, but they don't throw very much. They've got they're really salty on defense. I mean, that conference is a running defense, or a running conference. I mean, it's ground and pound, and I think hopefully that might be an advantage for us, since we throw the ball so much, and we're looking forward to the matchup.
You can look at their scores over the course of the season and more or less figure out that they're not used to playing these 55 to 38 games. They're a team that wins their games by a touchdown or maybe 10 points, and they have only scored more than 30 points one time this season.
Yeah, and again, it's a ground and pound. They're trying to short game you, and the key for us is to get points. And we don't want it to be let like them short gaming us and playing keep away, which is always a concern when you play somebody like this. But on the flip side, if we can get our offense clicking and scoring points, I don't think they have the, a team like this and that scheme, can't come from behind as easy because they're a running team.
As a result of that, will you change your I don't want to say play calling, or in the second half, will you try to protect a lead, or will you just try to score as many points as possible?
Well, we're going to do whatever we need to do to win the game. They're a very good football team, and we're going to have to play our best. And I know our kids are disappointed with what happened against Mattoon, and like I told them after the game, the bad news is we lost. The good news is we don't have to end like that. And right now I think everything's even, and we're looking forward to a great matchup this week, and it's one that if we play well, I think we can get them.
It's the Jersey Panthers taking on a 5 seed in this bracket. It's Limestone 8-1. Like I said, their only loss was to the conference champion Washington. Their lone win over a 500 better team was a victory over playoff bound Pekin. Some other teams that they would have played: Macomb, Canton, Morton, East Peoria, Dunlap, Metamora. Metamora is a team that usually is a powerhouse, and they had a down year this year. Yeah,
and for whatever reason, but again, that's a very physical conference. All those teams, with the exception of Dunlap, are running teams. So that's Peoria area is a blue collar area. They're gonna have some tough kids, and it's something that we got to get our guys healthy to be able to step up and be able to match that. And we've got tough kids too. So. Again, I think we gotta. We're glad to be in, but we think we have a good draw, and it's something that we think if we play well this week, we certainly can advance. It's your first Saturday game of the year. Last year, you had a couple of games that were forced to play on during the day. One, I think, a Saturday, one a Monday, but. Well, maybe they were both Saturdays. One was a Monday. Okay, one was a Monday. The Granite City game. So this is your first day game of the year. How will that change how you prepare going through the week? Well, we're going to take advantage of the extra day. We're gonna go through. Monday will be a regular Monday, fundamentals, conditioning, film. Tuesday is more of a defensive day. Wednesday is more of an offensive day, and then Thursday is going to be a polished day where we're going to have an extra day to go over anything and everything again. Yep. To make sure we have it. Normally it's a walkthrough day. Yeah, normally it's a walkthrough day, and Friday will be our walkthrough day. We'll have dinner at the church, and the Spirits are actually cooking us spaghetti Wednesday night at the KC Hall. So that'll be exciting for the boys to go there after practice and meet the Spirits. It's fitting that it's Halloween week, the Spirits. Yeah. And, Friday will be, walk through, and we'll have dinner again. And then, Saturday, the charter bus is leaving the complex at 8 a.m. And we're going to go to Peoria and have a brunch at Golden Corral at like 10:30. And then, take about an hour for that. And then the high school's just a few minutes away from there. And we'll get there and walk the field at noon and get in our regular routine. And, we're really hoping, that the Panther fans caravan and get up there and get excited, and we're hoping for a good show. Panther fans, there's a lot to do in Peoria. Not a lot to do in Mattoon, but in Peoria you can go up the night before and take in a couple of casinos and the nightlife, and then get ready for football on Saturday. So sounds like a plan. Yeah, well, get it going. Let's go.
We'll have it for you here on 1480 WJBM on Friday or Saturday afternoon with a 2:00 kickoff. It's Jersey versus Limestone in the 5A playoffs, and a victory. That's the good thing about playing on the road in week 1. A win usually means you're going to play at home in week 2.
Yeah, if the favorite team in the other bracket they were at home and they win, then
you know who that will be?
That would be Highland. If Highland can win, and the old saying, we're going to take them one at a time. But that would be a fun matchup, and something that I think our kids would like to have happen. But it won't happen if we don't take care of business this week.
It's the Panthers and Rockets, 2:00 kickoff, and good luck, Coach, this Saturday.
Thank you.